What's going guys, Zennosh here, and today in this video of Heir, I am presenting to you guys a fire, water, forest, element type, tanks, tier list right here guys. Okay, so I am actually reworking on my tier list because of some technical like mistakes that I have made on my previous tier list that I just sort of like released like I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And thanks to @Enlu and @Asian of the Discord channel that he actually made me clear like why certain sort of like tanks should actually go into the higher tier. Okay, so now I am actually gonna discuss this tier list to you guys on and why they are actually there. Okay, so let's get this started with C tier. Okay, so we have the water execution right over there. Okay, he's pretty good, a 4-star net tank unit right off the bat, so pretty good, right? And then like the next thing is that he actually does provide a lot of utilities right out there, resilience, and also like a 20-second taunt is pretty amazing. Okay, and he can provide a tons of defense when it comes to the Omen dungeon. That is so insane guys, really amazing unit that you can actually bring out to your team already. Okay, and he also provides a lot of sort of like a boost even for the PvP content, so pretty good guys. Let's start with the B tier list again now. Okay, we have Water Carmilla. Water Carmilla is really a very good tank right out there guys. I'm like, she is pretty much like awesome tank for like every content out there. She can actually provide a very unique feature called Protect as well that can actually give you extra defense, especially if the opponents are really trying to catch up to your very squishy DPS servants, maybe through the AoE skills or stuff like that. Okay, and Water Carmilla is actually gonna be there to actually provide some protection. Okay, and she has actually a really good stats as well that provides a very good like how to say like tanking features. Okay, well, Forest Rim and the Water Carmilla kind of sort of like they share like nearly the same type of feature. I mean, like when they have taunt feature, like they have taunt activated on them, what's gonna happen is that like they will not allow their HP to be reduced more than 30% of their max HP per hit basis. Okay, so at a time the damage cannot actually exceed more than 30% of their max HP. That makes them very amazing tank indeed. Okay, and they can also soak a lot of damage at the same time, and also provides a sort of like defense boost to the entire team as well, I guess. Okay, so pretty good units right out there, but thing is that like they really have to activate their first skill and their second skill as well in the case. Okay, the next thing is we have the Forest Lenore. Well, she is a type of tank that only provides a very good utility when all the units are forest units. Okay, I mean like if somehow just one unit actually comes out to be like different unit, different element than a forest unit, like it's a fire unit or water unit or maybe light or dark unit, then her passive is not actually gonna work. Her passive actually says that like if the all allies are of forest elements, she's actually going to boost up their resist by up to 50%. Okay, so that is really amazing, but she only provides at very hard condition. That's why she's in the B tier. Okay, and now let's move on to the A tier list guys. Okay, right over here, really good tanks guys right over here. First of all, let's talk with the talk about the Fire Rim right out here guys. She actually provides a lot of defense to the entire team, especially with the first skill actually being activated. She actually also does provide a 30% defense boost to the entire team. Oh, sorry, it's not the defense, it's actually the damage reduction, meaning like whenever her first skill actually provides a taunt to her, she also gonna make sure that like the entire ally teams are actually gonna receive 30% less damage, and also at the same time their resistance increases by 30%, 30 freaking percent. That is insane guys. That is really good guys. I mean like, and she also provides a really good team passive of defense boost in the dungeons area as well. Okay, this makes the Fire Rim pretty awesome, and she even also has a reflect on her second skill that also like reflects the damage incoming towards her to the opponent. Okay, and that also makes her a really good at doing some little bit good damage output on the opponents as well. Okay, so that's there is to it. And we have like Water Anko guys. Water Anko, pretty amazing unit guys. As his HP actually starts to dwindle, it goes below like 70 to 90%. What's gonna happen is that like he is actually gonna get 50% additional defense right off the bat. Isn't that amazing? And just that simple mechanic makes our water anchor a really good tanking unit right off the bat, guys. And like he actually does provide really good DPS unit, like 100% attack boost, like let's say water Lenore, guys. Okay, and I forgot who is the other one. I think it's Pinks, maybe a fire Pinks, maybe. I forgot. Anyways, let's move on to our next unit. That is our Fire Simon, okay? Fire Simon is really amazing unit as well. He's notoriously known for providing the immunity buff to entire allies whenever he is actually using his active skills. That makes him so good. Providing an immunity buff to the entire team is just too good. As soon as you use his like first skill or second skill, his active skills right off the bat, whenever the battle starts, you are gonna get immunity buff right off the bat. That actually gives you a lot of advantage against your opponents, guys. And he also provides resilience and so many other stuff, guys. So he's too good. Okay, really a good tank indeed. We have now another is the Fire Hit, okay? Fire Hit is that type of like very amazing unit that provides a glancing hit rate to himself, which is so good, okay? And the next thing is that like like the glancing hit rate is really OP mechanic in this game, guys. Glancing hit rate makes you kind of resistive towards any sort of like enhanced damage output. It makes you sort of like immune to critical damage. It also meaning like no sort of critical damage will actually hit on you, okay? Meaning like the critical damage will sort of like convert into like normal damage. Only the white numbers will actually pop out. The red numbers will not actually pop out. Actually, I have made a different video. I'm like a separate video on explaining like what glancing hit rate really is, okay? But anyways, in the nutshell, guys, the glancing hit rate is totally amazing, guys, which can actually reduce the damage incoming at you by up to 50%, guys, and it makes you immune to any sort of debuffs right out there. That is really great, right? And guess what, guys, with his passive skill, guys, he will really make sure that any sort of damage incoming to him will only be limited up to 30% of his max HP at a time, okay? He cannot be one shot with any sort of skill right out there, which is like one hit, okay? But if you actually bring a opponent, I'm like a DPS servant that is a multi-hit combo type like servant, like let's say Water Lenore, or maybe let's say like Water Blavatsky, who have like 4 hit multi-hit combo skill, alright? And only those kind of combo skill can actually one-shot him, not one-shot him, like, you know, like gradually kill him just by using one combo skill. But any other servants, like let's say Zeta, okay, in normal case of scenario, he or she won't be able to one-shot him right away. That gives him a really high survivability, really good you know, how to say this, feasibility in the PvP battles, and as well as many other places as well, okay? So really good unit right out there. The next one is the Dark Executioner, guys. Okay. Ah man, Dark Executioner, finally with the latest update, it has actually been confirmed that he actually scales his damage based on his defense stats. That is very unique, guys. There are not too many servants right out there who can actually scale the damage based on their defense being a tank class servant, okay? So that is really great. You are actually going to need this particular servant when you are going to farm in the Flame Dungeon 11th floor and 12th floor to get that Supreme Flame Awakening item, okay? So Dark Executioner, hell yeah, he's really good. And guess what, guys? Even his base stats, that is HP stat and defense stats, are pretty on par with the normal FWF Forest Water Fire 5-star net tanks. Now how about that? Guys, his base stats are par on par. Usually in like, you know, like a 4-star net, Forest Water Fire tanks are pretty much very inferior compared to the 5-star Forest Water Fire element tanks. But this Dark 4-star net tank, 4-star net Dark Executioner, has a really good base stats that makes him really good even against the 5-star net Firewater Forest tank, guys. So he's really great, okay? I mean, like, he's too good. If you actually somehow manage to get him, don't throw him away. Don't use him in the fusion endlessly or mindlessly, guys. Stack him up and get him to level 70, and he is actually going to show you some really good magic, especially if you are really trying hard to actually get a really good hand against the Flame Dungeon 11th floor and 12th floor to get that Flame Supreme Awakening item, then he's the one, guys. He's the one. Okay, now let's move on to the S tier, guys. Okay, in the S tier, guys, now let's start with the Lucrecias. Okay, wow, Lucrecias are really great. Fire, water, forest, all of them so amazing, hands down, guys. Okay, fire actually being the least one, guys, that are right out there, because, like, you know, guys, what they actually do is that, like, their passive skill really does allow to them to become really amazing units, guys. Okay, first of all, Fire Lucrecia, okay, she can actually you know, like, or any sort of Lucrecia right out there, they can reduce the damage incoming towards them from a multi-hit combo skill. Like, let's say it's the combo skill, like, have more than one hit. Like, let's say of that, a Water Blavatsky, a Water Lenore having more than one hit combo skill, right? I mean, like, for Water Lenore, I think that's, say, 3 or 4 hit combo skill, right? For the Water Blavatsky, that's a 4-hit combo skill, right? In that kind of case, guys, what's gonna happen? They are actually gonna reduce the damage incoming from that kind of really combo skill by up to 90%, okay? By up to 90% damage reduction. That is insane, guys. That's why they are so good for the PvP content, guys. And the next thing, guys, they all do provide 52% defense boost for the respective element allies in every regions, guys. That's why they are one of the must-have units that you need to have when you are having a defense-based DPS servant. Like, let's say Nu, okay, the latest edition Nu, or let's say Archangels, Carmilla, Forest Isabel. Okay, like this kind of units, they are actually gonna have a massive advantage boost when you have the Lucrecia around. Okay, that's the greatest thing right out there. And this Water Lucrecia also provides a little bit of, like, you know, like, better utilities, providing the resilience and many other stuffs right out there. So good unit indeed. And now when we are actually gonna talk about the Forest Lucrecia, some people do really argue that she is really one of the amazing tank out there in the entire game, guys, because of her passive skill again. Okay, now let's try to decode her passive skill, guys. What's gonna happen is, like, she will copy her speed stat onto the support unit or support servant or support opponent of the another team, okay, with whom you are actually fighting against. It is actually gonna be really effective in the PvP content, because, like, usually support units are the one who actually keeps on providing a lot of buffs, casting a lot of debuffs on the opponent, and then also at the same time, guys, they are very super fast, okay? And if you can just slow them down, because obviously Lucrecia can actually match her speed stat to that of the opponent, okay, meaning, like, she will actually make the copy paste of her speed stat to the opponent. Like, let's say, for example, Forest Lucrecia has 100 speed, okay, stat, and the opponent support servant, like, let's say Water Ace Pinks, she has about, like, 300 speed stat. Now what's gonna happen is that, like, Forest Lucrecia is actually gonna make sure that the speed during the battle period of the Water Ace Pinks won't go up or higher than 100 speed stat, guys. Being like, even though the real speed stat of the Water Ace Pinks is 300, her speed stat will be actually dragged down to 100 because of the Forest Lucrecia. Okay, and this is not only just good in the PvP content but also in the PvE content, because, guys, you guys might have been, or like let's say you guys must have actually noticed the monument, or let's say the statue, okay, in every sort of PvE battles, right? A tower, we call them the tower, okay? So what's gonna happen is that, like, the tower are the support servants, okay? I mean, like, support opponent. And tower can actually deal a lot of damage. They can actually provide a lot of buff and debuff on the entire game content, and they can actually make your life a miserable one, especially when they can actually cast the catastrophe, right? And then they can wipe out your entire team. In that kind of situation, it can actually become so problematic, guys. And now if you have Forest Lucretia, what's gonna happen is that like that statue is actually gonna have the same speed stat as that of your Forest Lucretia. So the main thing is that what you really need to do is like please try to build your Forest Lucretia in the lowest speed stat as much as possible, and she is actually gonna be a mayhem against the opponents, guys. She's just too good. She's really good. Okay, just try her out. She's gonna be really good, not only in the PvP content but even in the PvE content, guys. Okay, so good indeed. Like let's say in Abaddon, in the Explore tiles, Explore region, Sanctuary, whatever it is, whatever, she's gonna be really best, guys. Now let's move on to the next one. That is the Fire Caesar and the Forest Caesar. Well, this is where I actually really made a very huge blunder mistake, guys. I thought like he was not really that amazing, but now I came to know that like he is totally amazing. Okay, first of all, guys, he actually does provide a high resistance against the damages coming from the ignore defense type damage dealing combo skills. All right, what's gonna happen is like he's actually gonna nearly negate those kind of damage, which is actually so good because like ignore defense type of damage are pretty much a rampant. They are rampaging the PvP arena, like they are really like one-shotting. Okay, they are just one-shotting your tank units, and that is actually been so problematic in the PvP content. But now we have the Caesar, that is Fire Caesar and the Forest Caesar, that can actually negate the damage incoming from the ignore defense type damage. Okay, so that is good. That is really good. First thing, guys, and the next thing is that Caesar, they really do have very high base HP compared to the any normal like tank servants right down there. Like let's say for example, guys, we have the this fire ram right out here. Okay, and let's say her base HP is about like 45,000, I guess. Let me check out. So when you have the T70, okay, T70 T5A5 fire ram, her base HP is about 46,509. That's a lot, right? Whereas for the Caesar, his base HP is gonna be 63,683 HP at the highest possible level. That is T5A5. At T5A5, his base HP is gonna be 63,683. That is nearly 17,000 more HP health compared to that of Fire Ram. That is humongous. Okay, just in base HP, like what the hell? That is. I did not see that. Okay, so I was like pretty much infuriated at first, but when I actually saw that, it really blew my mind. Base HP, 17,000 more base HP. That is insane, because like your base HP is actually gonna get increased so high by your gears, because like your gears obviously is gonna have a percentage wise HP boost, right? Like HP percentage boost on your like helmet, your shoes, your ring, and even in your substats you are gonna have HP percentage boost, and that is actually gonna give you higher health stats compared to that of Ram. Okay, in the end, guys, with the same gear set, guys, you are actually gonna end up with so much stat on your Fire Caesar that he is actually gonna be proving himself so much better than compared to the Fire Ram right out there, guys, in terms of like just like the base stats right out there, just because of his base stats are so amazingly strong. Okay, so strong that it's just mind-blowing, guys. I mean, like, he can actually tank a lot of damage right out there just because he has that tremendously high base HP compared to any other fire, water, forest tank service right out there, guys. He is that amazing. Okay, I did not actually consider the basic stat before, but now when I'm starting to consider it does actually make a lot of difference. Okay, so that's the thing right out there. So Fire Caesar and Forest Caesar are really amazing. Okay, I can vouch on that one. And now the next one is the Water Carmilla. Okay, I mean, like, Water Carmilla is so amazing, guys. She can actually heal herself up. A tank against auto heal, right? That's great. And then like whenever like the attack is actually landing on her as a critical hit, she's actually going to reduce the damage, reduce the total damage by 50%. Like, what the hell? Yes. And then like if you can actually provide her with really good potentials right out there, I mean, like, she it's just too tanky. I mean, like, she actually seems to like tank a lot of damage, and I mean, like, she seems to be like immortal, guys. I mean, like, in PvP contents, I have really encountered a lot of Water Valkyries, and they really do not go down. And most of the damage I have dealt to them, it doesn't even affect them. It doesn't even like flinch them, guys. Like, they are just that good. Okay, I mean, like, right off the bat, decreasing the damage incoming by up to 50%. It's just too insane. Okay, I mean, like, yes, the hit needs to be a critical hit to be effective, but guys, I mean, like, when you are actually moving on to the higher tier, guys, any sort of hit will actually be a critical hit. Obviously, there are so many players out there who are actually working out on the critical stats. Okay, I mean, like, that's how your CP is actually going to be really high. So in higher tier, guys, I mean, like, Water Valkyrie is so freaking insane, guys. I mean, like, she also provides a really good team passive for the PvP content as well, and so many other features that makes her just too amazing for the PvP content, guys. Just she is the bomb, guys. She's the bomb. So that's how it goes on for right now. That is of January 2020, and obviously I'm actually gonna bring another tier list if any other changes comes out or another new tank servants actually come to show up their true nature in the Heir of Light. But till then, this is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to keep on enjoying the contents of my channel, and see you guys in the next video.